So for the next video in the viewer request series, we're going to be taking a look at how to incorporate tarot on our spiritual journey to healing and self-acceptance. This is a wonderful area for us to take a look at, and one that I'm excited to talk about today, and that I have a feeling this will lead into other videos. So I think that tarot really provides us with an opportunity to see where we are, where we're headed if we don't take a deeper look at ourselves, where we're headed if we do take a deeper look at ourselves. And I think it also lets us know a lot of what's going on underneath the surface that perhaps we're uncomfortable looking at. So the 78 cards of the tarot really do present us with a wheel of the human experience. The large archetypes and the large stories of our life are really portrayed in the major arcana, the first 22 cards of tarot. And then in the minor arcana, in the court cards, we really see more of our day-to-day experience and things that we can really interact with, changing the energy of in perhaps more of an easier way. But definitely, when I say easier, I don't mean that it will be easier, but I mean that with the minor arcana and the court cards, there's a way that we can interact that perhaps we can have less of a attachment to at times. And for myself personally, I have found tarot to be extremely effective in letting me know what I really am feeling and where I really am in my personal experience. So I would definitely say that how to incorporate tarot and part of that journey that we're all on, that spiritual journey to healing ourselves, to loving ourselves, and therefore being able to love others. I think that daily draws are invaluable. So you can look at your daily draw as advice for your day, or as a barometer to kind of let you know where you are. You can also look at your daily draw just as a way to get to know tarot better as well, because it is all of those things. So I often find with my daily draw that what's coming up is not just what I might be facing throughout the day or what I might experience throughout the day, but also where I actually emotionally and mentally am at that moment, and what I'm going to come in contact with because of where I'm residing emotionally and spiritually at times as well. So I find that the daily draw really helps me to get in touch with how am I really truly feeling today. And if I'm not happy with that feeling, if I'm not even aware that I'm having that feeling, what can I do to interact with this energy and heal? So I find the tarot to be invaluable as far as that goes with daily draws. I think that you will really get a lot from a daily draw. Even if you just draw the card and see where the day takes you and then do your meditation with the card at the end of the day, I think you'll still find that if you draw the Four of Cups in the morning and you meditate with it then, or you draw the Four of Cups in the evening and you meditate with it then, you will see where your emotional experience really lies throughout the day, and how you can interact with, acknowledge, and heal and shift that energy. And it can be a very organic process. Your daily draw doesn't have to involve a bunch of research and long drawn out meditation and something that ends up feeling very stressful. I find if I just take a few minutes with my card and my tea and I just sit with that energy and allow myself to understand that I might be in a place that I'm not comfortable with, that I might be in a place that I do want to shift, and that perhaps I've been doing a really good job of ignoring where I am. I think that the daily draw really helps you to connect with that, and it can just be those few minutes of meditation and just asking the universe, asking spirit, asking your spirit tribe, as I like to call the team of energies that we work with on a personal level. Just asking what the message is for how to interact with what's showing up in that card for us for that day. So I think a dialogue with your card when you have a daily draw is really helpful, and a dialogue with the universe through your card. I I'm finding as the years go by working with tarot that the cards really are a gateway in a lot of ways. It's a door for us to step through and enter a metaphysical, spiritual plane where the messages at times might feel coded, but if we can really embrace and open up to the energy of stepping through that door and the image that is helping us to step through that door, it's very helpful. And it can flow very easily, the synchronicity and the understanding of the messages. And if you find resistance coming up with a card, I think that's an amazing opportunity to really have some healing work done. So if you have a card you just dread getting, that you hate getting, and that when it comes up you really feel challenged by, this is an opportunity for you to really look at the core beliefs that you hold about yourself and your experience, that you do have the power to shift if you choose to do that. So those cards that challenge us are really blessings, and they're our biggest teachers. And so when they show up, really honor that and allow yourself to step through that gateway, to step through that door, and take a look at what a shift in energy and focus could really bring you. So I definitely think that a daily draw is a wonderful way to incorporate the tarot system into our spiritual journey. I also love to do spreads on the Sabbats for myself because I am a pagan. If you're not pagan, perhaps drawing out a large spread on holidays that are very special to you, that you really set aside time and sacred space for. But if you are pagan, the Sabbats and the Espats are wonderful times to really, get into the spirit of ritual and draw a nice full spread for yourself. And it can be as intensive, extensive, in-depth as you want it to be. It can also be as light and free-flowing as you want it to be as well. For Ostara, I love to just really flow with my spread and not have so much structure, but to really step into the energy of fertility and the maiden in a really fun way, a fun and fertile way of just being really fluid and flowing with my spread and allowing whatever comes out and whatever story shows up to just be there and to sit with it. And then there are other times when I really love the structure of an in-depth spread that has specific meanings for each card and that you really sit and work with and meditate with in ritual. But I definitely think that as part of the spiritual experience, using spreads at specific times of the year for ourselves is fun, and it's also part of that creation of sacred space that's beneficial for us all, whatever our spiritual paths are. Holding sacred space and allowing ourselves to have the time for sacred space and to sit in sacred space when we're deeply honored is really important and very beneficial for us all. So daily draws, I think spreads at specific times of the year for ourselves, times that are very important. So perhaps it's the memorial of the death of a loved one, and we are in a reflective space anyhow, and so it's a good time to draw a spread and communicate with their energy, or communicate with our healing process in regards to the loss of them in physical form with us in this life. So occasions like that are wonderful times to use tarot as part of our spiritual journey, and that can be through the setup of a meaningful spread for ourselves. I think that's definitely very helpful. And I also find for myself that meditation with a card, as often as possible, really, and not necessarily always the same card, but with different cards in tarot, but actual meditation and journey work and path work with tarot in a meditative setting is super, super powerful and intensive for me as part of my spiritual journey, to really connect with the energy of that card, to look at the image and walk into the image and give myself the time and the freedom for that meditation to go wherever it needs to go, wherever the cards and the energies that be around me and that work with me, to opening up to really allowing them to take me wherever it is that they wish for me to journey. I think that that is perhaps the most profound and effective way that I use tarot as part of my spiritual journey. It's deeply healing for me, especially when a card shows up again that I have a difficult time with or that I'm really uncomfortable with, and it continues to show up in my life. So, for instance, recently I was drawing the Eight of Cups constantly, using several different decks for myself all the time. That is a calling to me to sit down and meditate with that card and spend some serious time with it and really have a discussion with it. And it's also wonderful to create a storyline for yourself with these cards. That can be part of your spiritual journey as well, because the telling of a story like that says a lot about your own story that you've created around your life and your experience. And it also has, I think, a lot of messages for us for what's important to us at this time and what we need to heal from, let go of, where growth needs to occur and expansion needs to occur for us. So any kind of creative work with our cards, that is part of the spiritual journey with tarot in our life. And it's going to be something unique and different for each of us. And that's the beauty of tarot, is that it is not such a rigid system. And I think really where tarot is headed is a much freer space of working with the cards. So not that the meanings themselves are changing drastically. I'm not meaning to imply that, and I have great honor for the history of tarot. But for our working with the tarot, it's really shifting now into a space that's much more about our spiritual journey and about the growth that we want to experience in our lives, and the healing that we want to occur for ourselves and for others when we start to read for others. So this is where tarot is really growing in its own way, and where we are part of that journey through our own growth. So any creative way that you can use tarot, any way that speaks to you, whether that's guided meditation or path work with the cards, or telling a story with the cards, using storylines with the cards, creating your own tarot deck if you're drawn to do that. That will take you on a serious spiritual journey as well, and you're going to learn much more about how to heal yourself and how to love yourself with the cards by following these creative paths with the tarot system. I think daily use of tarot is a huge part of how we find self-acceptance and self-love, and how we honor ourselves on our own journey as well. And so that's why at the beginning of this video I did recommend to do a daily draw for yourself with the cards. I think that that's extremely beneficial. And as far as with self-acceptance, tarot can really point out where our shadow side is dwelling, and what we need to really examine about our core beliefs, what we really need to take a look at about what we believe about our experience, and how we're limiting ourselves through trying to stay safe and through trying to survive. And here's what we've done to survive through the years, and so we continue in that mode of being. And oftentimes we don't even realize that we're doing that. And tarot can really help us to examine that deeply. And again, we do that by daily draws, focused spreads, and working with the cards at a deeper level. So same thing applies for all of these different levels. In my experience, it's just about the more that I work with the energies, the more that I get comfortable with what the tarot is sharing with me, and the more that I allow them to show me the growing message that they wish to impart for me and for others. So the more time that I spend with the cards in meaningful ways, the better, the better experience that I have. So I'm hoping that this has given you some more insight into how you can incorporate the cards into your spiritual journey and your own healing work. It really does need to be about honoring yourself and the cards enough to spend some serious time with them, and to really sit and listen to the messages that are coming through. I've been considering maybe doing a series of guided meditations on this channel in the near future, and I'm sitting with that and seeing what comes to me. But if you have a hard time with meditating with the cards, look for guided meditations that involve card work and journeying through an image in the tarot. And like I said, I am sitting with and asking for some insight and guidance into whether or not that's a good direction for this channel. But just be aware of the fact that there are guided meditations out there that can get you started in this process. I think the most effective way that we can really do this meditation, though, is to just allow the image to take us wherever it takes us. That does mean that we have to let go of the ego control and just sit with it, and that we might end up going to an uncomfortable place. But if the intention is for healing, then going to the uncomfortable place is only going to be beneficial for us in the long run. So allow that to happen. So as part of self-acceptance, it really is asking what the message is to help you to love yourself more. And you can do that again through daily draws and through focus spreads. And I did a video recently on body image in the tarot and cards that I found helpful for myself in that journey towards self-acceptance and self-love regarding my physical form in this life. So you might find that helpful if that's an area that you're looking to heal within yourself. But for self-acceptance in general, it really is just taking a look at what we are polarized by in the tarot system and understanding that that is where the fear and the shadow side lie for ourselves. And that's really what we have to examine and take a deep look at for ourselves, and why we're so repelled or uncomfortable or uneasy with certain cards. And again, that's our greatest teacher, and so it's a blessing that they have shown up for us in the tarot. So I hope that this gives you a good starting point. And as I said, I will do more videos on this subject line and help us to see where we can grow with the tarot as part of our spiritual journey, because like I said, that really is what the tarot is to me. It is an intrinsic part of my spiritual journey, and that is the purpose of the cards, to help me to grow in awareness and understanding of myself, and to help others have that experience themselves as well when they sit with me at a table or online. So I'm wishing you all many blessings, and thank you so much for all of the wonderful questions and topics. I'm having a lot of fun sitting with what wants to come up to be shared in these videos. So thank you all. Thank you for being part of my journey, and much love, guys. See you in the next video.